We're studying. It is always a good policy to start by playing out a center pawn. This gives you a strong grip on the center squares, the most important sector of the board. We're about to study Game 1, RUY LOPEZ, not to be confused with Jennifer Lopez, on page 70 from the book E.S. Lowe's Chess in 30 Minutes. In just a few minutes. Stay tuned. This podcast episode is brought to you by
Try free apps, complete surveys, and shop online to earn amazing rewards with FeaturePoints. Use this link and you'll get a bonus of 50 points to redeem on Google Play, Xbox, PayPal Cash, App Store gift cards, and more. FeaturePoints. Get rewarded.
Hi, this is Jeremy from Video Gamers Oasis speaking. I'm saving my points for a $50 Canadian Amazon.ca gift card, valued at 22,500 points. Presently, I have 2,672 points. I require 19,828 more points to achieve this goal. Get 50 points for using this link. https://featu.re/VGO. Referral code VGO. Hello again, this is Jeremy back again after a long hiatus. I had to take a little break from my podcasting to do other stuff and just chillax a bit. Thanks so much for tuning back in to my ongoing mini-series. It's actually nearing the end of the mini-series. We're on this book here called E.S. Lowe's Chess in 30 Minutes. I've been reading. This is a practical application as well, so we do a little practice sessions on my computer, Microsoft computer game called Microsoft 3D Chess. We're now on Chapter 5 from the book E.S. Lowe's Chess in 30 Minutes. This is episode number 20. But this is all Chapter 5 is the chapter, the techniques for winning quickly. And our first subheading is Game 1, RUY LOPEZ. It's RUY LOPEZ on pages 70 to 73. Don't forget to click the subscribe button. Send some likes, send some love if you like the hard work I'm doing. If you enjoy chess, if you want to learn more. On with the show. We're starting a brand new chapter from the book E.S. Lowe's Chess in 30 Minutes. This is actually the last chapter of the book, Chapter 5. Starting with page 70, Chapter 5, The Techniques for Winning Quickly. In this last chapter, we want to get the feel of chess as it is actually played. In this way, we will get a practical grasp of the game. The best method is to study some short, decisive games and see why they came to such an abrupt end. Just what was the mistake that lost the game? Just how did the winner go about punishing the mistake? Game 1. RUY LOPEZ. I'm going to spell that out for those who are just listening to the audio. That's spelled RUY space LOPEZ. RUY LOPEZ. Not to be confused with Jennifer Lopez, but that's a totally different story. We have here the description of the game pieces. White. 1. P-K4 and black ... It is always good policy to start by playing out a center pawn. This gives you a strong grip on the center squares. the most important sector of the board. In addition, playing out a center pawn opens up lines for your pieces. In this case, white opens lines for his king bishop and his queen. 1. P-K4. Black imitates white and gets the same worthwhile results from moving out his king pawn. 2. N-KB3. Another move to be strongly recommended. White develops a piece, gains time by attacking black's king pawn, and achieves still another object. What is that object? White wants to castle early so as to create a safe haven for his king. By playing out his king knight promptly, he begins to clear the space between his king and king rook so that he can soon castle. 2. And N-Q-B3. A good move. Black develops a piece that alone is enough to make the move a good one. But black does more. He defends his attacked king pawn. For if white plays NXP, comma, black replies, ... Next page, page 71. NXN, and white has lost a knight for a pawn. This would be a grievous loss of material for white. 3. B-N5. Another fine developing move. White brings out his bishop to an aggressive post. He prepares for castling, getting his king into safety. 3. N-B3. But black is playing well too. He develops another piece, and meanwhile he attacks white's king pawn. Both players have been bringing out their pieces with admirable rapidity. 4. P-Q3. Another good move. White opens up the diagonal for his queen bishop, and at the same time he protects his king pawn from attack. Diagram 56. Brackets, black to move. Black plans a trap. If black tries ... NXP ? He loses his knight, brackets, in return for a mere pawn. After the reply PXN. 4. ... N-K2. This move is wrong because it moves a piece for the second time and thus slows up the development of black's pieces. Black's knight move is also wrong because it blocks the development of black's king bishop. Moving on to page 72. Page 72. And black's trap. Where is it? The trap consists in the fact that black has left his king pawn undefended. Now white's problem is, should he capture the completely undefended king pawn? White can let this pawn severely alone and make any number of satisfactory alternative moves. For one thing, he can castle right now and get his king into safety. White is also aware that he ought to avoid moving the knight a second time in the opening. But as so many others have told themselves before, he says to himself, after all, a pawn's a pawn. 5. NXP ? and p-b3 exclamation point. Black's last move shows what he had in mind. He attacks white's bishop, and in the event of the bishop's retreat, he will play ... q-r4ch, giving check, and at the same time attacking white's advanced and precariously situated knight. Brackets. This reminds us of the queen fork described in diagram 49. White realizes that he has blundered, and therefore he craftily sets a counter trap. 6. N-B4 exclamation point and question mark. A noble try, but it shouldn't work. I forgot to mention after the number 6 move, there was a ... after that. ... A noble try, but it shouldn't work. 6. ... PXB question mark, question mark, question mark. Black is too greedy. 7. N-Q6 mate. Black is checkmated. He cannot capture the checking knight, and his king cannot flee from the check. Now return to the position after 6. N-B4 exclamation point question mark. Black should play 6 ... N-N3. This stops white's knight from checking, as black's king bishop is now functioning on its diagonal. With white's main threat gone, he must save his menaced bishop. Moving on to page 73, and we have diagram 57, brackets, final position. The trapper trapped. Hence the retreat. 7. B-R4 is indicated. But then comes P-N4, forking. White's bishop and knight. This compels the win of a piece for black, leaving white with a lost game. From this eventful 7-move game, you can see that a great deal can happen in chess in a few moves. I have a brief review of our lesson today with the 3D chess game available on Microsoft. So for our first diagram for the RUY LOPEZ technique, we have diagram 56, brackets, black to move. Black plans a trap. And the description again above the diagram reads, another good move. White opens up the diagonal for his queen bishop, and at the same time he protects his queen pawn from attack. And the paragraph below the diagram reads, if black tries ... NXP question mark, he loses his knight, brackets, in return for a mere pawn. After the reply, PXN. Instead, black tries a trap. And for those who are just listening to this audio on this podcast, here are the coordinates for the pieces. The white king on the white side is section E1. The white rook on section H1. White queen on section D1. White bishop on section C1. White knight on section B1, and the other rook on section A1. Above we have the white pawn on section A2, B2, and C2, all white pawns, and D3, white pawn. Section E4, white pawn. Section for the white knight is section F3, and there's a white bishop on section B5. On the black side facing the white pawn in section E4 is a black pawn on section E5. The Right across from that black pawn is the black king on section E8, black queen on section D8, black bishop on section C8, black rook on section A8, the other black bishop on section F8, and black rook on section H8. We have all pawns on section A7 to D7, 4 pawns. Below, of course, is the black knight on section C6, another black knight on section F6, 3 black pawns on section F7, G7, and H7. The next diagram for the RUY LOPEZ is diagram 57, brackets, final position. The trapper trapped. The paragraph below reads, hence the retreat 7 B-R4 is indicated. But then comes P-N4, quote-unquote forking. White's bishop and knight. This compels the win of a piece for black, leaving white with a lost game. So on the white side, we're just going to describe the pieces of the white and the black side for those who are just listening to the audio of the podcast. We have the white rook on section A1, white knight on section B1, white bishop on section C1, white queen on section D1, white king on section E1, and white rook on section H1. Above we have H2, white pawn, G2, white pawn, F2, white pawn, and a section E4 for another white pawn, and section D3, white pawn. Above we have a white knight has advanced on section D6. On the black side, we have the black rook on section A8, black bishop on section C8, black queen on section D8, black king on section E8, black bishop on section F8, and black rook on section H8. The pawns are as follows: A7, B7, D7, F7, G7, H7, and B5, all black pawns. And we have 2 black knights, section E7 and section F6, black knights. The next subheading we'll be studying is on page 73 from chapter 5, the techniques for winning quickly. We're going to be studying game 2, 3 Knights game.